Hi, and welcome to LNA Does Audio Stuff. Hey, today we're gonna make a pop song in only 10 steps. So basically, I'm making it today, and I'm gonna log the whole process for you, and this is what we're making.
You know what I'm thinking about, right? It's fair that you want to find meaning. I think we both need some deep healing. It's a little bit predictable when you say to grow up.
Please also remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you beat the algorithm and you will definitely see every single time I post. But hey, let's get into it. Let's see what kind of pop song we're gonna make today. Let's go into it. Okay, here we go. We have an empty canvas. So tip number 1 is creating drums. So we're going to select our drum sound first. So this area here on your library, so from 505s to 909s, all fit to pop genre perfectly, because what is a pop song without some 808 snare, especially? So if we, example, go to chord kit, all those sounds are very familiar from many songs. So we're going to start with that, and we can always change it later if we want to. First, we're going to work in the session view. So I'm going to go here and just open a new clip. I'm going to put the length as 2 bars, something like that. And we're going to create a rhythm. We definitely want to have bass in every single bar like that. So it's going to be dum cha, dum cha, dum cha. As clever as that. Fabulous. Awesome. And also I can just put hand claps on here as well. So we have a little bit of variation. I also added hand claps as well as rim shot going dun to add a little bit of that kind of like groove into it. Very basic. And now I'm just gonna use the velocities to make it a little bit more human. I'm gonna select the hi-hats, and then I'm gonna put the randomize button selection maybe 10, and then I'm gonna randomize it so we get a little bit of more variation into the hi-hats. Yeah, that's a lot better. Perfect. Step number 2 is creating variations of this rhythm that we just created. So we have it here, and what I'm going to do is duplicate it and duplicate it again. So we have 4 variations of it. So we have variation number 1, which will be the intro. So I'm going to rename this. First one is intro. Second one is verse. Third one is chorus. And the fourth one is chorus 2. Okay, so we're going to go to intro 1. What I will do is I'm going to delete stuff. So I'm going to delete first. So I'm just selecting them from the keys here, and that selects all the notes. I'm also going to take away the hi-hats in this point. I'm also going to take the bass drum off. just very basic snare and rhythm going on. So then we have a verse, and in here I'm just gonna put I'm gonna take the hi-hats off again. Okay, perfect. So I think I'm just gonna leave it like this for now, the verse, and then we have chorus 1. And in here, I'm just gonna take the claps away. So otherwise, the only difference between chorus 1 and chorus 2 is that the other one has claps and the other one doesn't. Okay, at this point, I also would like to add a drum bass. So this is just gonna add a little bit color and kind of like oomph into the drums so that it's easier for me to kind of build around it. So first I'm going to drum it, going to add some drive. And this is really important now. So we need to know what scale we're going to be in. I know that we're going to be in D, add some boom to it. It's in a wrong note now because it's in a G. So I'm going to lift it up a little bit. A, C, and D. And I'm going to click it so it goes to D1. Add some transients to it. Without drum bass. Much better. Step number 3 is melody, and for this we're going to look for harmonic quality. So remember that in this point it's good if you have selected a key. Mine is D major. Having a plan, having a vision for a scale is a good starting point, and it will make things a bit more clear when we are creating. So we're going to look for a melody instrument, and for this one I recommend being a bit creative. So it's good to kind of try out things. Thought I could try it out. I don't know if that works, but I kind of like it. I'm gonna add some effects to it to make it sound a little bit more interesting. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Fine tune it. We have one riff that is completely weird, and it might be irritating, it might be good, but I'm also going to record another one just using a guitar. So then later on, we have more choice on the quality and what we want to use. I have 2 clips here. The right one is like a guidance track that I created just to add the kind of chords so that I can riff on the top of it, just add like a more melodic quality. They're quite chill. So I'm definitely liking them more than the weird clip that we created. So I'm just going to move that weird clip lower down and just kind of get those up here. So I'm more involved with them. But that's the thing, is that you just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to really float your boat. So I'm not going to say completely no to it yet, because we could chop it up. We could put it in a simpler. We could play around with it, and we could find some amazing sounds with it. So, you know, just trust the process. Step number 4, adding bass. In a pop song, obviously, bass can be so many things. I'm going to add a bass that is very common in pop music and EDM nowadays. Okay, so what we have created here is now a bass. I used the wavetable for it, and I added instrument nylon beats on the first oscillator, and then I put vintage mini waves on the second oscillator. On both of them, I connect to LFO1 and LFO2. LFO1 is connected to the oscillator 1 position, and the LFO2 is connected to the oscillator 2 position. Otherwise, I just work with the amp envelope. So I just basically played with the decay and release so that it works with the kick bass of the drums. And then I work with the unison. So I just added to the classic unison sound to the wavetable. So to be honest, not much else was added. Oh, sub oscillator was also activated. So on the rhythm, we have very simple beats, and that complements the harmonic plan that we planned in the beginning. So we have a chord progression, and I just went to the root note of the chord. So we have example D, B, G, A, and so on. Step number 5 is adding an acoustic instrument to the C part. It's a very, very common trick in pop music. So I have now recorded a couple of takes, quite many takes of the guitar, because I just wanted to test. I put the microphone closer to the strings and then closer to the end of the body. So I just tried the microphone in different areas of the guitar's body, just to kind of get the vibe, which miking technique would really fit to this song the best. And I think with mixing, I can make it sound really cool. So I'm going to go for that one. So I'm just going to delete all the other ones. Acoustic. And that was the bass. I'm just going to name everything so I know definitely where everything is. Okay, step number 6 is arranging what we already have now in this view, so in session view, and then we're going to record it into arrangement view. So I'm going to go to the scenes, and I'm going to rename them. So intro, and then we have verse. So let's go for a very, very typical pop arrangement. So intro, verse, I wrote that wrong. Chorus 1. Verse 2, chorus 2, C part, or some people call it bridge, and then chorus 3. We have intro there, verse drums there, chorus there. So then I'm just going to put chorus 2 there, where that is. And then we have also chorus 3, where we might add some even more variation to the drums into the third one. So I'm going to put the verse ones to the verse 2 as well, drums, and then I'm going to put intro drums into the C part. Then we're going to put the acoustic guitar straight into the C part, and also I might just put it into the intro. So if you hold down Alt and drag, it will copy paste it, basically duplicate it. Intro would be this, very poppy. This is like Ed Sheeran coming up. So yeah, I might put the electric guitars already in the verse, then I'm copying them into the chorus, and we have bass in the chorus. Oh no, you know what? I will do exactly opposite. I will have bass in the verse, so we have a strong first verse. And then vocals on the top of this. And then we have a chorus 1. And then we have the exactly opposite in the verse 2, which will be just these. Like that. And then we go chorus 2. And I just add that there, and that there. Repeat them. And then we have a C part. And then we just go here. and repeat everything on the last chorus. So what I could actually do is that the chorus, I can put that into 2 scenes. So I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm just going to have that the first part of the chorus is going to be the acoustic guitar. Oh, just these 2 actually could be. Does the weird thing fit in somewhere? I think no. Okay, so now we're going to move our arrangement from here to arrangement view here and just make sure that we are in the beginning of the everything. So I'm going to put a function and arrow to the left, and it will go all the way to the beginning. And then we're going to go intro, make sure all the clips are not activated. We're going to record and then play. This is a very good way of just vibing what length is good. So I think a very short intro, definitely. And there we go. Now we have it here on the other side, and now I will start editing it here. Okay, so we have intro, verse, chorus, bridge, verse 2, chorus 2, C part, and chorus 4. Okay, we also have some time in there. No, actually, it's pretty much 3 minutes 30, which is exactly what pop songs kind of are. So perfect. Step number 7. Which is vocals. The other day, I just had this little melody line in my head, which is literally 4 lines of words, so it's not almost anything. Those melody lines inspired the chord progression, which I planned in the beginning. So what I will do is that I will take audio and put that Vox like this. I'm going to put that so I have it on my microphone. I'm going to take the loop phrase and I'm going to just put it like this. So it's selecting only the verse 1. Okay, so I'm going to also activate the cycle mode like this. And now if I start recording, all the takes will go to the take lanes. So I have no idea what the lyrics are going to be. I have a notepad and I have a pen. I will start just humming around into the melody. And I hope that the vocals kind of come to me. And we're starting with the verse 1. I know what you're calling about. You're calling to tell me. You know what I'm thinking about now. You know what I'm thinking about, right? You know what I'm thinking about, right? You know what I'm thinking about, right? Basically, this is how many take lanes I had. I had just a lot of blah, 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 blah in the beginning. And yeah, I have now a verse that I kind of like. I know what you're calling about. You're calling to tell me you're leaving. You call me to say how you're feeling. You know what I'm thinking about, right? It's fair that you want to find meaning. I think we both need some deep healing. So it's playful, it's kind of fun. So yeah, now I'm going to repeat the same thing for choruses, bridge, verse 2, chorus, and the C part. So fun. Okay, so I have now created the vocals. So I went through every single section and it took me about maybe 1.5 hours, maybe 2 hours, something like that. It actually changed also the vibe of the song quite a lot. It became more emotional, more empowering, that like a party hit type of song. So I feel like that will now affect a lot of the decisions that I will do with synths as well as other aesthetic choices. 8 is adding synths where needed. Might try, instead of having electric guitar, I might actually add chord progressions instead of these slightly badly played electric guitars. Okay, so let's create a new MIDI track. And I'm gonna put an instrument there. So let's go to a wavetable example and just put some very basic one first. And I'm gonna create again 8 bars full of length. There we go, there we go. And the first chord, so I'm just gonna go 1 bar filled chords, pen tool, and we have now, so we're gonna put a D major chord here. I like reverse chords, so what I will do is that I probably put the F sharp into here, F sharp, and then I put the A here. So we have a reverse chord, and then I'm putting also, I put the bass note as D. Go here and put around 30. It's a little bit predictable, don't you say, to grow up. Okay, so we have adjusted the velocities of our chord progression, and now let's just go to the instrument. Like if we just make vary something quite shimmery. It's a little bit predictable. Ooh, a little bit Twin Peaksy vibes there. It's a little bit predictable, don't you say. Make these a little bit longer and shorter. Don't you say, to grow apart, to fall out of love. I think the direction where we went with this song is not these drums that we created in the beginning. So this means that we're going to create a new rhythm, and I'm going to do that now. So sometimes it's like we need to listen what the song wants, even though, and it's a bit like Kill Your Darlings type of situation. We can't just keep on thinking of that this is the best drum ever, because they are not just they are not fitting into the song at all anymore. I've now changed the drums, so we have basically just this. It's fair that you want to find meaning. I think we both need some deep healing. It's a little bit predictable, don't you say? So it's a bit more dancey, it's a bit more like it has a bit more oomph into it. So aesthetic effects, so example, side chaining. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to synth, add side chaining there. So we're going to go, I might add it with gate. So we're going to go to the main one, which is the 2 discarded gate. And from here, we're going to get the kick layered post mixer. There we go. So now it should come in. And it's the attack and hold and release that we need to play with. That's the stuff. Number 9 is layering, stacking, and harmonies. Okay, so I have now created stacks, layers, and harmonies into most of the instruments. So on electric guitar, the riff, I actually duplicated it and I just pitch shifted it, the lower one, octave higher. So it sounds like this. So it just adds the kind of like a higher tune there to go like very high, very high. Then I have the synth and I actually duplicated it. On this track, I detune it up a little bit, the second one, and the last chorus, I brought it octave up. So it sounds a bit bigger, the whole synth. So it's octave higher, because other choruses, it's going to be like this. And with the bass, I duplicated that as well. And I actually created like a bass sub for it. So I took the sub from the other one off, the sub oscillator, and I filtered this a little bit, created sub oscillator, bring the tone up, and I also made the wave a little bit harsher as well. So this is how they sound. So this is without the sub. It's just like that. So we brought the low end properly in. On the acoustic guitars, I actually duplicated them again, and I panned the other one completely left, other one completely right, and then the other one I tune it up a little bit so that it kind of separate from it, and also to not to have too much issues with phasing, I also did a tiny little bit of just a kind of separation. So I brought the other one like tiny little bit separate from that the signals are not completely matching. In the mixing, we need to, of course, check the phasing issues as well, but this is how they sound together. So sounds so much wider, and they're both on the left and right ear. Sounds cool to me. And then we have the vocals. I added a little bit of stuff to the C part, just like that. On the vocal choruses, I actually mixed it up a little bit. I stacked up the vocal choruses. So what I did is that I took the chorus 2 and put it as a stack for chorus 1, and chorus 1 I put it as a stack to chorus 2, and then I recorded completely new stack for the chorus 4. I also added vocal harmonies, this kind of fill, kind of conversational harmony. This
little bit predictable, apart, grow apart, to fell out of love, out of love.
So I added that kind of conversational stuff there. And then I added also to the chorus 2 and chorus 4 some harmonies.
To grow apart, grow apart, to fell out of love, out of love. After 25 years, did you say?
Like that. Last step 10, which is filling it up with details, which are transitions, lifts, drops, and then weird bits. And I will show you in a minute what they are. So what I have here is first a very nice appreciated synth and also an auto filter. So I also filtered a little bit it in using auto filter. So it sounds like this.
You know what I'm thinking about, right? It's fair that you want to find meaning. I think we both need some deep healing.
So it just kind of brings the tension and a little bit color to it. Then I also have a reverse cymbal. And I have repeated it in many places. Here is also a little breath on that point. I will show more about that transition in a bit. I also have added another reverse cymbal here. And there's also a crash here on the other side. So I have a reverse cymbal and a crash. I just noticed to show you that this impact is different than the other cymbals here. And that is because I just wanted to bring variation to every transition is different. So it's a bit more metallic on that one. Also, I have here a drum kit that had a lot of fun sounds. So basically, I created a little bit of a detailed drum fill in here. And I repeated it in most of these. Okay, and then I added also this other tom here.
Some deep healing.
And that tom is also, it has an envelope control where if I go here and I transposed it in the clip envelope. So I used modulation there. So it goes like that. What else? I added this fun effect that I found is hey! It's variation. I only added it to one of these. I think it's the second chorus. And then there's the last ones. It's there is a white noise. There's also a very boomy kick. So each of them are very different. So this is a going to chorus one.
I think we both need some deep healing.
And then going to chorus 2.
You're calling to say you still care.
And then going to chorus 4. That is, my friends, a song in 10 steps. So I've been doing this now all day. I started about 11ish and it's 6 o'clock now. So I've been working on all this. So this is a very simple production still. Now would come the point where I start really listening to this further. I would do details. I would obsess a little tuning or a snare tuning. Maybe I need to add more effects, some kind of special plugins or something. So basically now it's like the details and the crafting of it all. Okay, here we go. The final song. This is non-mixed. Hey, I'm just here editing this video, greetings from the future. I have mixed it a little bit. Just a little bit. Not too much. I'm a bit hangover as well. It's 7 hours it took me to make this today. So I wrote the lyrics, I did all the bits and all the pieces in those 10 steps. Let's listen to it.
I know what you're calling about. You're calling to tell me you're leaving. You call me to say how you're feeling. You know what I'm thinking about, right? It's fair that you want to find meaning. I think we both need some deep healing. It's a little bit predictable when you say to grow apart, to fall out of love. After 25 years, did you say this is not the way I pictured our love ending? What are we talking about here? Why does this feel so confusing? Why do you laugh? It's not amusing. A little bit. I know what this call was else about now? You're calling to tell me it's scary. You're calling to say you're still caring. It's a little bit predictable when you say to grow apart, to fill out of love. After 25 years did you say this is not the way I pictured our love ending? It's a little bit predictable how you say to grow apart, fell out of love. After 25 years did you say this is not the way I pictured our love ending?
Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, please hit the bell icon and come again. Also, please come to my Patreon club, my Patreon family, if you want to be part of this amazing family, and also you want a weekly live streams, you want personal feedback from me, you want masterclasses, monthly masterclasses, then this is the place to come and hang around. Hey, thank you so much. Please share also this video if you can, because that would be very helpful for me. To anyone who needs to make a pop song, thank you so much. Love ya.